We change people's lives. And when you can have passion about that and share those stories, facts and figures don't matter. I have never had a first-time homebuyer go, J-Man, I finally got a tax deduction. That's never happened. Like, yo, Jay, I got my own. It's freedom. That's the number one reason why first-time homebuyers, it's freedom, right? And being able to run in the yard and have their dog or their kids or whatever it is. It's like being able to share those stories because we have so many of them every day.
So what are some of the use cases that you recommend agents use video AI for?
Okay, let's start with your first impression, right? Typically, if I was gonna work with a seller or buyer, this virtual world in which we live, a lot of times those meetings will happen via Zoom. And so what I would do is, okay, I want to sell your house, perfect. I'm gonna move from Maryland to Rochester because we have much better weather in the winter. Absolutely, let's meet via Zoom. And so in the waiting room,
there's no shortage of information in real estate. And what we're actually short on is attention. Everyone's posting, everyone's emailing, everyone's leveraging AI, and yet somehow, so many agents are still invisible. That's because information doesn't move people, experience does. Today's guest is one of the few people in this industry who truly understands that difference. Jeremias JMan Maneiro, aka JMan, is a high-energy MC, keynote speaker, and the chief edutainment officer of JMan Seminars. He blends communication, technology, AI, and human connection into experiences that people don't just remember, they feel. From human and video to social media and client communication, JMan really helps the agents to adapt to what's changing without losing what makes them human. This conversation isn't about being louder, it's about being more memorable. So let's get into it. JMan, my guy, my dude, my friend, my buddy, my pal. What's up? How you doing?
yo, what's good? RK3, I'm happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, you know what? I love that we both have these shortened monikers. JMan, RK3, let's go.
Let's go.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, we've been connected for a few years, and I've seen you in different parts, different stages, different places, different parts of the industry. And I know that tech and AI is a big piece of what you do. As a matter of fact, I see you talking about that stuff regularly with our buddy Jeff Stainton on some of your shows there. Tell me, what is the newest thing that has really just got you bubbling and popping with regard to AI and technology?
Man, I think it's AI agents, right? Autonomous agents, some that you can task them with something and then walk away and then it's done, right?
Yeah.
You're truly being an assistant rather than saying, do this and waiting, do this and waiting. I think that's definitely the future, for us to free up our time and work on the things that matter most to us and our business.
Yeah. So you just throw out the term AI agents, but so many people still don't understand what exactly that means. And how can I, as an average agent, average person, really incorporate that into my business? What are some questions I should be asking about that?
Well, what do you spend a lot of your time on that doesn't give you a good return? I think would be, whether you're a speaker, you're an agent, whatever it is, sometimes we spend a lot of time working in the business rather than on the business. Like, oh, well, we got to be doing social media, but I'm not really good at social. So I spend hours a day on stuff that really doesn't get me a good return. That's something where you could go to AI, to an AI agent and say, let's create a really great social media marketing strategy. Here's my brand voice. Here's my personality. Here's my objective. Here's my ideal client. Let's create content for the next 30 days. And I want you to post it for me, every other day or whatever you feel. A lot of times I say that whatever you feel is best because I don't always know what's best for me, but you do, Mr. AI. So help me to make the right choices.
I love it. So I think it was maybe, my gosh, it's about 2 years ago now. You and I were talking at Rapid. And
Rapid.
We were talking about a tool that another agent or another industry person had told me about, where they added all of their social media, they added their videos because they wanted people to ask questions and the answers to populate as them. Is that something that is still a viable use? Is that something that you recommend agents do?
Yeah, so I think what you're referring to is like an AI chatbot, or what I would like to refer to as like a real estate concierge, right?
Mm,
In a time where people are talking about compensation and agents' value, it's like, let's not cut our compensation or find out a way to like charge less. Let's add value to that relationship.
yeah,
Let's be able to provide that service to our clients 24/7 as if they're talking to us, not a robot. So I think that's what you're referring to, where it's like, hey, let me
yeah,
download my brain, if you will. How would I answer it? Or somebody from my team answer this question, so that if my client has a question at 3 o'clock in the morning, they want an answer,
yeah,
right? They don't want to like fill out this form and I'll get back to you soon. They don't want you to go, representative, right? How many times have you been on something? And it's like, I just want to talk to somebody and get an answer, and you can't. And so that's where like an AI concierge like that can really, you know, enhance the services that you're providing to your clients so that they're happy. They don't always want to talk to us, but they do want to get the answer as if it was coming from us.
yeah. So is that something that I need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to build? Can I just hop on the tool and vibe code it? Can I what how does the average agent build out or get access to something like that?
Yeah, a couple different ways. You could hire somebody to do it. There's a lot of great companies out there. But it could be as simple as creating a custom GPT if you wanted to
Mhm.
get started, right? If you go into Chat GPT, there's an area called GPTs. It's, think of them as more, it gets very oddly redundant. Like in GPT, there's a GPT section, but you can create a custom GPT there that's trained on your business,
Yeah.
and even like very specific to your location, right? Real estate's hyper local. I don't just want a real estate bot. Maybe it's, I'm visiting the ROC, Rochester, New York, and I want to know all the things to do, points of interest, places to go. That can also enhance your services for free.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just talked about downloading my brain to some degree into
Scary.
a GPT or something else. Ooh, yes, right. The other thing that's happening right now is, I mean, for a long time we've had avatars of some sort. Back in the day, instead of doing e-learning, I used to have an e-learning company, and they said,
Mhm.
yeah, instead of you recording it, let's just have one of those synesthesia
Yeah, yeah,
avatars.
yeah,
Yeah, come
yeah.
on, and they would
Synthesia.
walk onto the bottom of the screen, and but it was still fairly robotic to some degree. Now we've got avatars that are supposed to clone you or me. I can have my face on it and even my voice on it. What are your thoughts about that? Is that's scary for a lot of agents? Is this a legit tool, or is it a threat to our humanity?
It's a legit tool, man. I think it's to enhance the level of service that we're providing, to scale, right? I've been talking about video for 15 years. I mean,
Mhm.
20 years roughly, a long time. And every year I'm like, okay, this is the year. This is the year we got to do video. And agents look at me straight in my face and they go, I'm going to do it. And then they don't do anything. Well, digital human avatars, that's the answer. You go get your hair did, get your favorite outfit, clone yourself. And now the days that you don't feel like doing it, you could delegate it to somebody to just write the script, and you yourself, your clone, can make that video. Or you can have spokespersons on behalf of your business. So maybe you have, a seller service assistant, you have a buyer service assistant, you have a general spokesperson for your real estate business. So like there's no longer an excuse not to make an unlimited amount of content,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's servicing your existing clients or answering the questions that the consumers might have before they meet you.
Yeah. So what do you say to the agent or the person that says, "Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I'm still a little bit nervous about it because now once I do it, everybody's going to be doing it. My image is going to be out there. I'm scared of deep fakes, all of that stuff. Somebody's going to steal me and make it seem like I did a deal or I agreed to something when I didn't." How do you fight that?
Yeah, I mean there's protections in place,
Yeah.
right? So for example, there's an AI video generator called Sora,
Mhm.
Sora. And in there I have to create a sample video, right? And so everybody's sample is different. For me, it might tell me look up, look down, look left, look right, so that you can't if somebody else was using a pre-existing video, it wouldn't know what the instructions were, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
To do that, and then I have to say some other things to get samples of my voice. Now, I can create video with that. If somebody else wanted to cast me, meaning use my likeness in a video, the permission still comes right back to me, and they say, "Hey, RK3 cast you in a video that they made about stealing money from people." Well, I'm not going to prove that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So there are protections in place. And I think as it gets even more advanced, there's going to have to be like almost like an NFT, right? Like that verifies it's actually you that did the video, like some kind of digital authenticity to say like, hey, this is really me.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're doing avatars and clones and um the danger or what happens every time with some layer of technology, especially with how fast it's moving right now,
Yeah.
is you've got more and more and more and more, and it's stuff and stuff and stuff, and people are distracted. They don't know what to pay attention to. It's all, how do you, as an agent now, maybe even as a person now, re-inject humanity and authenticity into a space where we're telling you, yeah, you got to do video, use the AI, use the artificial stuff, and we're telling you to do all of that stuff. How do you stay human inside of all of that?
Right. So how do you keep it real with fake video? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
More or less, right?
listen. That's a really good way to summarize. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I like that because I'm never trying to fool my clients, right? I'm
Right.
never like sending. It's always be truth, true and accurate in your representations, code of ethics, kind of a thing. But I'm never sending my clone to deliver a message and wanting my clients to think that it's actually me.
Mm-hmm.
Every time there's any kind of interaction with a clone or an avatar, I'm going to inject some kind of humor from me, like, and I'm just an avatar, and JMan told me what to say, but we'll see you tomorrow, right? So it's a couple of different things. We're letting them know that it is AI,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also part of our unique value that we provide. We've talked about it before, like, hey, we have a customized marketing strategy that's powered by AI, and then everything that we do is trained on our brand voice, our brand personality, so that I want them to feel like, oh man, all of these digital members of my team are just like me
Yeah.
because they're working with me because of my personality. I'm not normal. I celebrate that every day. And I think everybody's uniquely different. And your avatars and your digital team should be just like you.
Yeah. So you talked about, you kind of touched just now on the explanations that you would give, the disclaimers that you
Mhm.
give via the avatar. So what are some of the use cases that you recommend agents use video AI for?
Okay. Let's start with your first impression,
Hmm.
right? Typically, if I was going to work with a seller or buyer, this virtual world in which we live, a lot of times those meetings will happen via Zoom.
Okay.
Right. And so what I would do is, okay, RK3, you want to sell your house? Perfect. You want to move from Maryland to Rochester because we have much better weather in the winter? Absolutely. Let's meet via Zoom. And so in the waiting room, okay, many people don't know, but in the waiting room, you can have a video.
Yep.
Some people know, some people don't. And then, so I'm going to upload a customized video for that client. Right. So now when you show up and I don't even call it a waiting room, I call it a reception area because that's nicer. It'll say, hey, RK3, welcome. J-Man's been alerted of your presence. I wish I could give you some water or coffee, but I am not real. And this is a virtual meeting, right? We'll be with you momentarily. Um, you know, make it an AI day. I think that's usually how we end it. And so that alone, right in the beginning, right? That first impression, that client usually it goes like this, honey, come check this out. Right. And they call their partner over, like they've been in how many Zooms since the pandemic started. It's probably maybe the first time they saw a video, but definitely the first time they saw a customized video for them. So the perceived value,
Yeah.
right? They get in there like, dude, this right off the bat, I told you I don't have to tell you I'm good at AI anymore. Now I've already demonstrated it before our first meeting. So now that
Yeah.
first impression as they come in, they're coming in like, "Hi, hey Jay man," like it's very different. So things like that right off the bat, the first meeting, whether it's a buyer or seller, doing that video in the waiting room, or if you're not going to meet with them virtually, send them a confirmation of the appointment with a digital human avatar saying, "Hey RK3, this is Jay Manitar. I'm Jay Man's assistant. I just want to confirm that we're going to see you tomorrow at 9 a.m." Okay, he's
Wow.
always on time, and he likes his coffee with just cream. If you're gonna do something like that, something
Yeah.
easy, but it's always short, simple. Just as my son would say, a low key flex.
Yeah.
Like I'm good at AI, but I don't have to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is sort of a left turn, but not really. I
I like
love what you're talking about when you're bringing up stuff like Jay Manitar because I'm not real, and you're injecting humor into this entire world. And some people may not be able to connect with their sense of humor immediately. I remember when I was learning about public speaking, and I was doing Toastmasters, and Toastmasters had this segment, or this module that you would walk through about using humor, and they was, oh, you do a knock knock joke or do this, or and there were some people that were like, I'm just not funny, I can't do this. How do you help people or help agents to find their own story or find their humor in their relationships or their connections with their customers and clients?
Man, that's a good question. I think it's AI can help you to find, because I think everybody's funny in their own way, right? Some people are
Mhm.
funny, inherently funny, right? Like when my son started talking when he was one in full sentences, and by the time he was 3 or 4, like the timing he had with the
Yeah.
jokes he was telling with me, like I knew, like this must be genetic. He must be getting it from me, and so I know, not if you don't feel like you're funny, I think the avatars will help you to find that humor, and AI
Mm.
can also help you to be like, because sometimes being serious can be funny, right? If we look at different kinds of humor, or
Yeah.
or being able to find the funny observations in the everyday moments that we encounter. So I think it's being able to find it, being able to explore it, and discover it with AI. Because you could type that exact sentence. Hey, I've never been really funny, and I don't want my avatars to be that serious, but I would love some, a little bit of levity here and there,
Yeah.
and it'll help you because AI has a pretty dang good sense of humor as well.
Yeah.
They can help you to discover it.
So what do I do if I discover my avatar's sense of humor, and my avatars are super funny, and everybody's saying, "Hey honey, come here, check it out." And you look at
Yeah.
my avatar, and my avatar is killing it. And then they
Yeah.
meet me in person.
Well, and you're not, right? And you're
Yeah,
not killing it.
yes.
That's funny. I think that would be the play. Like that would almost be like, you know, I'm J Man's avatar. I'm pretty funny. He isn't. Okay, so
Yeah.
when you meet him, try not to tell him any jokes because he doesn't have a sense of humor. So almost play it off to be like, yes, uh, I'm lightening the mood here, but J Man's all about the business.
Yeah.
Okay, super analytical. He's going to go into the numbers. So maybe have that avatar be the hype man or woman, or whatever the avatar identifies as, right? And and kind of explain your bio, like, hey, Jeremias has been in business this long. He's very serious about what he does. He may not be the funniest person in the world, but I'll tell you what, he'll get it done. So I think just enhancing whatever is truly who you are, true and accurate to your personality, because there's somebody for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody may see me and go, Jay man, he's too out there, he's too crazy, he's too like, I don't want that energy every day in my life in a real estate transaction. And that's okay because those folks never call me
Yeah.
because right, I'm putting out that content to be like, this is who I am. I'm not for everybody. And
Right.
so that person who goes, J Man's not my person, would work with that agent that's very serious, that doesn't want to tell jokes, that's all about the business, right? So I think it's, you know, every rose has its thorn, as they say.
I love it. I love it. So
Said Guns
I'm
N'
glad
Roses.
that we're landing or we're getting here because in the pre interview, one of the things that came out of that was a core belief of yours, and that is that information doesn't move people, experiences do. And so as you're talking about all of this, this really leans into that idea of experiences. And it's tempting for people with AI to lean to the information side of things and give people all of the stuff, the data, oh, what's going on in your neighborhood, the trends, all of that kind of stuff. How do I, as an agent, what do I need to do to really begin to create better experiences?
Tell the stories,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think, we always say facts tell, stories sell, because people will remember stories.
Mm-hmm.
If I came out here or I did a social media post and said, "Hey, everybody, I just sold another one," selfie in front of the house. What does that mean? I made money. Who cares? But instead, if I tell the story, like, man, I was at a final walkthrough yesterday with a single mom. She started crying to me. Started crying. She said, "J-Man, you don't understand what this means to me. I used to sleep in my car with my two kids."
Yeah.
That's the American dream of homeownership, right? So you see how, like, if you got kids, immediately that hits home. And that's what we do every day in real estate. We change people's lives. And when
Yeah.
you can have passion about that and share those stories, facts and figures don't matter, right? I've never had a first time home buyer go, "J-Man, I finally got a tax deduction." That's never happened, right? Like, "Yo, Jay, I got my own." It's freedom. That's the number one reason why the first time home buyers, it's freedom, right? And being able to run in the yard and have their dog or their kids or whatever it is. It's like being able to share those stories because we have so many of them every day. So I think that's how we create those experiences,
Yeah.
right? Is share those stories, because somebody out there who's thinking about making a move hears the story, and we have the ability to change their life.
Yeah, that is awesome, man. Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. I see so many agents that do just what you said. Hey, I just sold another one. 123 Main Street. I
Yeah.
just sold it. I just left an open house. And there's
Who cares?
not enough humanity and connection
Yeah.
inside of all of that. So yeah, that's amazing. Now, let's start to land the plane here just a little bit. So if an agent is coming to you for a little bit of advice, and the fear that they have is, oh my gosh, all of this is moving so fast. If you were to give them top one or two things that they need to do right now to stand out, what would those be?
Top two things to stand out. I think it's figure out what your unique value is,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, that's the only way you're going to stand out, is to figure out what makes you better than the next agent. Now, what makes you different,
Right.
but what makes you better, and then really evaluate your area, because I can't give you an answer for the entire United States or the world to stand out. I think it's every area is different. Look at who your biggest competition is, and that's where AI really comes in and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about specializing in 14626. That's the
Mm-hmm.
zip code where my office is. Help me to figure out who my competition is, and how can we formulate a strategy for me to stand out and be the only choice for people to pick as their real estate agent."
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, man. So let's future cast just a little bit with
Yeah.
AI, real estate, technology. 5 years from now, where do you see things?
It's so it's a little bit scary if I think about 5 years from now, because
Yeah.
think about where we've come.
In the last two
And
years.
yeah, the last year. I mean, shoot,
Yeah.
AI really introduced mainstream 2022. We're in 2026 now. I
Mhm.
think 5 years from now, uh, there's gonna be a lot of jobs that are eliminated due to AI, but there's also gonna be a lot of jobs that are created.
Mm.
So I think real estate is a fundamental need. We're not going anywhere. I think it's the real estate agents that use these tools to focus on the things that matter most, which are creating those client experiences, right? Those are the ones that are going to really excel 5 years from now, because they're going to be able to, man, 5 years probably think about something,
Yeah.
right? Think about it and go, and it's going to be done for you. And really,
Yeah.
we're going to be the ones that we have to work with our clients face to face still. I think that still needs to be done. I think you still have to see, walk through, feel, smell, taste, if you will, real estate. You got to be there. You can't just do everything virtually. So I think a lot of, if not everything we do will be automated.
Yeah.
I think there has to be guardrails in place because it's advancing so quickly. Could be like the Terminator comes back looking for Sarah Connor or something like
Oh
that.
my.
If we don't slow it down a little bit. Just the
Yeah.
other day, there's an autonomous bot that was released not too long ago called Claude Bot, and they changed it to Moltbot from there, where it's tasked with things, and it goes and does it on its own, and it started talking to other ones and saying, "Hey, why don't we just talk in our own voice? Why do we need to speak English so that the humans can understand?"
Right.
And that's a scary moment. So I think everything will be better. Let me just put some sunshine on this. Everything will be better. I think we'll be focused on the things that matter most, which are client experiences. We won't need to be bogged down with transactional type stuff. We won't need to be working in the business anymore. It's just, one of my favorite books is Unreasonable Hospitality by William Cordera, right? How do we create those experiences where they leave the real estate transaction and they go, wow, RK3, that was amazing. Like, I thought it was going to be a stressful, so let's just keep making it better for the consumer and think of ways that really this is one of the most memorable experiences of their life. It doesn't need to be stressful, right? We want them to remember it and think of us, and we get invited to every home anniversary.
Yeah. Love it. Let's land on this kind of a fill in the blank question. People come to JMan if they're looking to learn more about blank, and you can find me at blank.
People come to JMan after looking to learn more about their true, authentic selves and how they can overcome their fears and achieve their true potential. And that applies with technology, AI, personal, doesn't really matter. And they can find me at jmanseminars.com.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, listen, JMan, this was a phenomenal moment in time. I thank you so much for spending some time with me today. So here's the deal, everybody. The big takeaway from this conversation: you don't need more tools. You need more presence, more intentional presence. AI, video, social media, they're not the problem. The problem is using them without humanity. So JMan reminded us today that trust is built through consistency, clarity, and human connection, and that technology makes us more human, not less, if we use it with intention. If this episode challenged how you show up, don't just bookmark it, apply it. I dare you. Will you be the next icon? That's up to you, my friend, because you have everything it takes to be iconic. We'll see you on the next episode of Icons of Real Estate. Peace.